Guys, today I'm going to take you through your ultimate guide to the Hyrox sled push. We're going to cover 3 sections today. Section number 1 is going to be your hand positioning. Section number 2 is going to be your foot positioning and your initial drive. And then section number 3 is going to be on your strategy for the sled push. Okay, let's get into it. So the first thing we're going to cover is your hand positioning. When you run up to the sled in Hyrox, there'll be some weight on the sled, unlike now. But to be quite frank, I can't be asked to get the weight from downstairs to upstairs. So empty sled it is. Second thing you need to do, first thing really, is your hand positioning, where you put your hands. This is the very first thing you're going to do before you do anything, before you push the sled. We have 3 different hand positionings that you can use. Number 1 is where you have those straight arms, okay? And people tend to have tension in those arms, and then you're obviously pushing arms extended the whole way. I don't tend to like this one. It can work for you, but I do find that it often means that because you're further away from the sled, it's a bit harder to leverage your body weight. When we're pushing the sled, we're trying to leverage our body weight the best way possible to be able to make it move as natural as we can. Okay? So first option is arms extended. Your second option is hands in like so, okay? So you've got your shoulders really close to the sled, you've got some flexion at the elbow. This is a much better alternative because by moving you closer to the weight, it makes it a little bit easier to push. It also means you're in a nice, powerful position. The only downside to this is that it is quite taxing. So for the whole 50 meters, it can cause some issues. The last one we're going to go through is the one that I use. Now, I'm not saying it's the best, just I find it the best for me. Crook of the elbows is what's going to be on the sled. So you're going to go like so, and this is going to be my position. So you can see I'm even closer. The reason I like this is because it doesn't feel too hard to push the sled, but also it means this keeps my heart rate a little bit lower, just because it's easier for me to control my breathing on this method, okay? Any of these 3 hand positions can work for you, but you need to try all 3 of them, I think, because it's best to get the preference in before the event. Okay, so the next thing we're going to go through is that foot positioning and the initial drive. Now, this isn't going to take too long, because what a lot of people do, they go up to the sled and they start pushing like so. You see one foot is in front of the other. Now, if you think about it, you're way stronger when both your feet are together. It's like when you squat, are you stronger from a squat or a lunge? So what I want you to do, just to get the sled moving, because the quicker we can get this moving, the easier it's going to be to maintain that rhythm, is to start with your feet together like so, okay? So I'm more strong in this position. So all I'm going to do, little low, big push, and then I can get the sled moving. It's going to give me more power to get that initial drive phase and get that sled moving. If you try both of these, you should actually notice a difference and find it easier using your feet together. So that's our initial drive and our feet positioning. Now we're going to move on to our last section. Okay, so our last section that we're going to cover is your strategy. Now we've covered how to push the sled in the most efficient way possible, but now it's about the best strategy to get us across those 50 meters as quickly as possible. So what a lot of people will do, you have 4 lengths of 12.5 meters. That's what makes up your 50. A lot of people will just try and push it the whole way 1 length, rest, go again and again and again. If you're a stronger athlete, then this can definitely work for you. But if you're like me, where running's your background and you haven't got that top end strength, taking some tactical breaks can be a much better alternative. For example, on that first length for the sled push, I feel great. Even if I'm feeling great, I take just a 5-second break at the middle of the length. So I only push it 6 of the 12.5 meters. All I do, I step away from the sled, couple of seconds breath and go again. What this allows me to do is to keep my heart rate a little bit lower and in control. And it just helps break up the accumulation of lactic acid so I can just hold it off a little bit longer before it really starts affecting me. That's how I got my fastest sled push time out of all the solos that I've done. When you're in doubles, obviously it's a bit more of a case of just trying to keep the sled moving between you and your partner at all times. But this is something you can definitely think about. If you feel like you're about to go over the edge when you're pushing the sled and you're about to go really high into that red zone, maybe think about just breaking for a few seconds and going again. But it's consistency is key. The more consistent you can be, the better results you're going to get. So you need to remember the strategy we do here is going to directly affect the rest of our race. The sled push is not at the end, it's right at the start. So I don't want to be giving everything on the sled push, sacrificing my next run, sacrificing the sled pull and the burpees, etc., etc., okay? So I want to be careful about how I'm doing this, but just be as efficient and consistent as possible. So that rounds it all up. There's your 3 most important things to focus on for your sled push. It's worth noting Obviously, this is just one of the stations, but this quite often can be where your race either starts going well or it starts declining, okay? So getting this wrong can be really detrimental, but getting it right can really give you that confidence and set the tone for a really strong race. So if you enjoyed the video, as always, I'd really appreciate a like. If you have any questions about anything you've seen or any requests for my next demo, please drop a comment down below. And as always, if you subscribe, then obviously you're one of the most sensible people in the world. So I'll see you all soon. I'll see you in the next video.